What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald Cabang from Wagertalk.com and themoneyballer.com. Yesterday, Wagertalk clients went 1-1. Went through some stuff on the show yesterday. I think it went. I think it went like 3-3 or something like that. Pretty even, but um, some things went right, some things went wrong, obviously. But hopefully, you guys, took in some trends and insights and kind of made your own decisions there. Because I know some other people in the chats that watched the show definitely cashed on some plays that we talked about on the show yesterday. But two games, or how many games have popped off already? Three games already has started. Um, but I do have some plays that I do like today that we could talk about here. Let's go into themoneybar.com. Where is it here? I'll share my screen. There you go. Themoneyballer.com. And just real quick, today's what, the 24th? Yeah, we're like a week away. So this is you guys' is like one last chance. You got 1 week left to try out the website, themoneyballer.com, just to see, if you get any benefit from it in your handicapping process. And I go through it on the show every single day. Not every single game, but at least go through the website, kind of go through the process of what I do when I handicap games on the site. So if you guys see that there's benefit to you, definitely sign up for free, try it out, and August 1st. If you guys see that there's some value to it, go ahead and sign up for the monthly or the annual subscription plan. Let's go into the MLB site matchup pages here. First one up is actually game two of the Reds Braves, and I wanted to talk about this because it came up on Kyle's Discord. Someone mentioned, if a team loses in the first game of a doubleheader, what happens in the second game? One guy just said, he would basically take the team that lost, right? So we'll dive. I want to dive into that on Give Me the Dog. So if we just go in and go doubleheader, and the team lost. If the team lost the first game of a doubleheader, in the second game, you can see the ROI here is just over profitable, right? Plus $296 if you're $100 better, plus 0.37% ROI. If you look at the for the run line here, plus 7.46% ROI. So definitely profitable from an ROI perspective. But if you go and say that the team that was the favorite lost, you can see some of that percentage increases to plus 3.41, plus 9.6 on the run line. Even if you look at this season specifically, it's already happened 9 times, 8-1 on the money line there for the team that was a favorite in game one. And then if you dive deeper and you say that the favorite here, sorry, we go so loss is a favorite and a favorite here. You can see pretty good this season overall. Historically, though, just 0.55% plus 0.55% ROI there on the money line, and then the run line is plus 7.95. And then if we look at recent seasons, though, I think it changes. So if I remember correctly, it was 2017. There you go. So 2017, since 2017, if we look at recent form of this trend, favorites that lost as a favorite in a doubleheader, plus 9%, plus basically 9% on the money line and the run line here, and that would point towards the Braves today if they lose in that game, in the first game. And if we dive deeper into it, so we go back to the moneybar.com real quick and just kind of look at the matchup specifically, not really looking at like double headers or anything like that. You see that the rating system definitely likes the Braves here in the second game, primarily the starting pitching matchup and the bullpen. And if you look at last 5 starts here for Martinez, last 4 starts actually, I don't know why it's pulling. Oh, because it got this got canceled yesterday. Okay, so last 4 starts is pulling. You can see Martinez giving up at least 3 earned runs in every single game. Their opponent scored at least 5 runs in every single game that he started If you look at Sale, he's been very consistent, getting 5+ innings per game. Control is off a little bit. You can see a couple of walks at least per game. Consistently just one earned run or two on this one here against Arizona. If you look at some of the trends, full season trends, you see Chris Sale here, 15-3 on the first 5, 9-0 in the first 5 as home favorites specifically. Full game, 13-5, 8-1 here on as home favorites. If you look at Martinez, 0-4-1 so far in the first 5 for Nick Martinez, and you can see here on the total side, 4-0-1, 4-1. That's telling me that he's giving up a lot of runs. So we go to, give me the dog real quick. We go season equals this season and starter. Oops. Bring up Nick Martinez here. So first 5, 4.4 runs per game in the first 5 given up by Nick Martinez. All right, so we go to Chris Sale. And we focus in on that first 5. 3.7 net. So he gets some run support here. Obviously, the Braves' offense is not exactly the way it has been in earlier on in the season, obviously, but giving up just 1.5 runs per game. And if we go to the home favorite spot, you can see here that 9-0 in the first 5, 4.89 runs, 1.44 given up in the first 5. So that's actually the way that I went, not only the trends, but if you look at the numbers here, let's look at last 30 days for the stats. Obviously, like what I mentioned, the Braves offense is kind of struggling here. You look at the Reds, though, their batting average is not too far off of the Braves here. They are getting a lot of runs in, and it's mainly because of the power that they possess. So their ISO is up there, but they strike out a lot. They don't walk a lot, and you can see here, Chris Sale is one of the better strikeout pitchers in the league. So I think there's going to be some struggles here for the Reds, just even getting contact, especially in the first 5 innings. And you look here, Nick Martinez, 2.13 ERA in the last 30 days. Most of those were from the bench, not even starts. And then you can see a little bit of negative regression that pops up here. And then you have Chris Sale, pretty consistent throughout. And then the bullpen goes. This is the reason why I wanted to kind of shy away from the bullpen from the full game, because the Reds are actually pretty strong here, and you can see there's a little bit of room for potential negative regression for the Braves from the bullpen perspective. So trends pointed in the direction of the first 5 for Chris Sale on the run line. So that's the way that I took that game, and I forgot to put the banner up. All right, so that was that one. So right now the Braves -180 plus 150 total is at 7.5. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead in the comment section, just drop any games that you guys want to dive into, or I could just kind of go through the slate. I only have time for about 4 or 5 games today, so if you want to key in on some specific games, just call those out. Let's go to the next one here. I think Milwaukee is about to pop off, so probably don't go through that one. Let's go Padres and Nationals. Padres Nationals here. Waldron versus Parker. We have the Nationals actually a +4 on the rating system. They like the bullpen here. Actually, a slight advantage on all levels, starting pitcher and the team batting. But the biggest advantage is the bullpen right there. If we look at the schedule, Padres won 4-0 yesterday. Waldron. Oh, this is the game that I was talking about, the Padres team total under on the show yesterday. It was under 4.5, and they ended up hitting even though they won the game. So Waldron, let's look at his last 5 starts here. Coming off a pretty decent start here, 6 innings pitched, 5 Ks, no walks, just 1 earned run given up. So just looking at his previous starts here, there's probably room for negative regression. He gave up 5 home runs here in his previous 3 starts prior to facing Cleveland. Damn, did all the runs come off the bullpen? Okay. Parker coming off of a bad start here. Dude, he didn't even last a full inning, gave up 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 hits. None of them were home runs, but he was giving up home runs prior to that. So if we look at full season trends, nothing that pops out here. Waldron on the full game, 14, 5-1 to the under for Waldron there. If we look at the team splits versus left-handed pitchers for the Padres, nothing really significant there. Nationals versus right-handed pitchers, you can see 25, 37, and 6 in the first 5 there. They seem to be an under team against left-handed pitchers here for the Padres. As road favorites, 1-4, 1-4 in the first 5 and full game. Actually, on the road in general, so let's look at this real quick. Team equals Padres, and opponent starter throws left. All right. Opponent starter throws left and on the road, not at home. So you can see first 5, they're averaging about 3 runs per game, just over 3 runs per game. So you can see here on the road versus starting left-handed pitchers, 14-3 to the under so far this season in the first 5. So that might be a potential look here. All right, so let's go back to moneyballer.com. Last 30 days for the stats here. Then Nationals versus righties. They've been giving up a lot of runs. Okay, so we go to... All right, so last 30 days versus left-handed pitchers, Padres been pretty good, though. 4-1 straight up, 4-1 against the spread. Nationals versus righties, just 5-10 on the full game. All right, so last 30 days for the bats. Both teams really struggling on the offensive side of the ball here. Neither team really striking out a lot. They just don't possess a lot of power. You see their ISOs are towards the bottom of the league here. Barrel rate, hard hit rate, all red. Home runs, Nationals home run, just 19 in the last 30 days. Let's go to, and they played more games than the Padres too. All right, so let's go to, they actually have a lot of speed. So if they do get on base, they can get their guys in scoring position. So starting pitching matchup, you can see negative regression here, slight negative regression for Matt Waldron. Mitchell Parker, 6.27 ERA, 5.33 FIP. So even though there's like slight negative, positive regression here, he's still probably going to struggle. Both giving up home runs at a high rate. That's actually not that bad, just because you can see Padres and Nationals don't have a lot of power. Okay, and then bullpen. Both bullpens, I think, are pretty decent here. Last 30. Okay. Awesome. So for this one here, man, this one, let's go full season again. That first 5 under is still kind of calling things out here. Let me look at Matt Waldron. Matt Waldron, 2.1, 2.35. Lost 4 straight. Let's look at him on the road. 2-9 to the under in the first 5 on the road. He doesn't get too much run support. Metro Parker. What's that first 5 total? 4.5. 4.5. So he's averaging just under 4 runs. Well, Parker at home under. First 5. I think first 5 under is the way to go. First 5 under Padres. Pen ran out of ink. First 5 under. All right, so let's go on to the next game here. Mets Yankees. Mets Yankees. All right. Oops. All right, just leaving myself a note here. All right, so let's go to the Mets and the Yankees. Yankees home favorites here. We got Manaea versus Cole. We have Mets. Rating system like the Mets here says that the Mets should be favored versus the Yankees. All right, so righty versus lefty. Okay, Yankees. So this is one that we saw yesterday. Yankees versus lefty struggle on the offensive side of the ball, and you can see Yankees team total under hit, and that's what we talked about yesterday. So that ended up happening. I think a lot of people had the Yankees yesterday, but the numbers called out the Yankees to struggle. All right, so I didn't say anything from a side perspective, but I did talk about the Yankees team total under. All right, so for Manaea, he gave up five earned runs, 2 straight games where he's given up a home run. Had a few good starts, 3 straight good starts here, quality starts prior to that. Gave up 8 hits. All right, and then seems like a bounce back spot here for Manaea. And then we got Cole here. Last 2 starts really strong. Went 6 innings each, only gave up 1 earned run. Last time he faced the Mets, got rocked. And Manaea faced the Yankees, gave up 0 runs. Okay. And then, all right, so if we look at the full season trends here, Manaea 12-7 on the full game, 9-6-4 first 5. Look at Road Dog here, winning them outright both times. From a total perspective, Garrett Cole 5-1 to the over. I'm assuming this is because he gets run support. All right, so the splits here. This is what I was talking about earlier. 7-12-6 in the first 5, 3-6-4 as a home favorite, 4-9 as a home favorite versus left-handed pitchers there. And if you look at the over/under splits as a home favorite, 9-3 to the under. I don't know why it's 9-3, 10-3 to the under here for the full game. All right, so let's look at last 30 days. Mets offense strong, Yankees offense strong as well. Both really rely, or Yankees more so rely on power than anything. Mets offense has been pretty balanced. If we look at the starting pitcher matchup, Manaea looks like he can get hit up here. It looks like some negative regression. But same thing we saw yesterday with who started with Quintana. Quintana also had some numbers that pointed towards negative regression, but he was a lefty too. And like what we saw here, Yankees struggle against lefties. Garrett Cole, 4.62 ERA, 5.23 FIP. Seems like this is going to be consistent today. And he struggles with the home run ball. So last 30 days, 2.13 home runs per 9. High fly ball rate here for Cole as well. So we're going to see the ball in the air. And with the Mets' power, we can see some home runs. All right, so if we look at the bullpen, The bullpen here, I think is pretty consistent. All right, so I mean pretty even. Let's go into the numbers again with the Yankees versus starting left-handed pitchers. $11 and $14 straight up. Let's look at them as home favorites again. All right, this is what I was looking at before. The home favorites versus starting left-handed pitchers, 4-9 straight up, 10-3 to the under. And you can see here, first five, 1.46 runs per game, 3 runs per game there on the full game. So I can't back the Yankees here, even with Cole on the mound. So Cole actually started one of these games. They lost the Orioles 6-7. So he did get some run support, but they gave up a lot. I think I would just go back to that again. First five or the full game team total under. Actually, let's look at this real quick. Starting equals. So Garrett Cole versus Mets. How has he done against them? He's lost 3 straight to the Mets. One last year and a few years ago. So nothing huge there. So if we look at Manaea and the Yankees, so with the Mets 1-0, with the A's 2-4. Same matchup. This is 2021, so this is a while ago. All right, so nothing super significant there. I would just look towards the Yankees to struggle offensively again, whether it's the first 5 or the full game. All right, one more we see is Seattle and LA. All right, so Seattle and LA. So Mariners home favorites here. We got Canning versus Castillo. Rating system does like the Mariners, but you can see no advantage from the bat perspective just because Mariners offense is struggling right now. Starting pitcher and bullpen advantage there. All right, so we have a baller system that says the Mariners are in a spot that to avoid the sweep here. One run scored in the last 2 games here, each against the A's. The Angels. All right, so last 5 starts here for Canning. Canning gave up 6 earned runs in the last. He's given up at least 1 home run in at least 5 straight starts. He doesn't get far. So last 3 starts hasn't even reached the 5-inning mark. Walks here, consistent with the hits as well. So, I mean, this just seems like a spot that, even with the Mariners' struggles offensively, they should be able to get some runs in on Canning here. Castillo, pretty decent last 3 starts. This was an okay start. 3 runs given up. Bullpen, he just didn't get no run support. Zero runs. Definitely doesn't give up home runs at a high rate. Gets pretty far. So he's last three he touched at least 6 innings. So let's look at the full season trends. Full season trends. So Canning as a road dog hasn't won a single one. Actually, on the road in general, he hasn't won a game. First 5, just 2-7 on the road specifically on the first 5. If If you look at Castillo, though, he hasn't been profitable either. At home as a favorite, 4-6 in the first 5-5 on the full game. Unders for Castillo as a home favorite. Unders there. Road dog, nothing significant. If we look at splits versus right-handed pitchers, first 5 struggling there for the Angels. 26, 49, and 9. 14, 21, and 1. Home favorite versus right-handed pitchers, 20 and 12. A lot of things pointing to the under for the Mariners as well. So when they win, they're limiting their opponent's Angels team total. It's probably going to be small. All right, let's look at the last 30 days. Last 30 days. 0-2, 2-0 to the under as home favorites. Over is there for Canning, though. That means he's giving up a lot of runs. All right, so if we look at last 30 for the splits versus right-handed pitchers, first 5 they continue to struggle there. Then they get it back towards the end of the game. So first 5 unders here for the Mariners still versus right-handed pitchers. Looking at the stats, both offenses really struggling right now. Per game average, the Angels actually average more, 4 runs compared to 3.3. Even when it comes to stolen bases, neither team possess a lot of power. Here's the thing with the Mariners. They're striking out a lot, but their barrel rate and hard hit rate is solid. So if I looked at it correctly, Griffin gives up home runs. Griffin, 1.8 home runs per 9 innings. So if the Mariners can get on there, can get some contact, there's solid. They get solid contact. Barrel rate, hard hit rate, right there. You can see it. He's not a strikeout pitcher, so there's possibility here that Mariners get some contact. From a starting pitcher perspective, last 30 days, Castillo definitely with the better numbers here. And the bullpen, the Mariners also have that bullpen advantage right there too. Man, as bad as the Mariners offense has been, I can only look towards the Mariners to avoid the sweep today. Angels versus righties. I don't think I could do anything with the total. Let me see real quick. So ground ball. What is the Angels team total? Angels team total. Dang, it's juiced a lot. 3.5. I would just say Mariners. I would think the Mariners on the first 5. So if we go first half and run line minus 120. First half run line on the Mariners. I don't think they could win by more than 1. I don't think they could win by more than 1. I actually don't know if I could pull that. Day game? Day. Okay, I guess. So let's look at that. So season equals 2024. So I was just checking the chat real quick. So check Angels day game record. So team. Okay, so they struggle during the day. They don't get a lot of run support. 1.42 runs, 3.42. That's really close to the 3.5 though, because of the low total. But what about on the road? 8-14. First 5. So they struggle in that first 5 still. That's wild. So 1.86 runs per game in the first 5, 4.29. So what this says is actually let's just take that PW out. Road dog. All right, so what this says right here, Sumner, Angels during the day as road dogs off of a win. And it's as long as they're playing the same opponent. 1-5 on the first 5, 1.83 runs, 3.83 for their opponent. We just go into day in general on the road. 5-16-1 in the first 5, and there's a just over like a 1.5 point gap here in the first 5 innings. So maybe Mariners first 5 is the way to go. I was thinking team total, but the 3.5 is really tight. 3.5 is super tight on the team total, so maybe just Mariners first 5 run line. Let me write that down. Because that's just minus 120. Okay. Solid. Thanks for bringing that up. If you guys have any other questions just like that, where we can like look stuff up, just shout it out. I can pull it up on Give Me the Dog. All right, so someone else brought up a game, KC in Arizona. All right, let's bring that up. KC and Arizona. All right, so Royals here, slight home favorites. Rating system says it's an even matchup. Looks like the offense goes to Diamondbacks. Starting pitcher matchup goes to the Royals. Diamondbacks scored 6 yesterday, 6-2, 10-4 in the first game. All right, so it's a rubber match. All right, so Ryan Nelson, last 5 starts. He's been getting pretty consistent past the 5 inning mark. Pretty solid the last 3. He was short here, only 3 2/3 against the Twins. Gave up 6 earned runs. Dude, he got hit 10 hits given up in that span. Michael Wacha, strong start here. 7 Ks, 7 innings pitched. Doesn't typically go 7 innings. Heavy favorite. All right, so we go to season trends. Unders here for Michael Wacha, 11-6 to the under. As a home favorite, 3-0 straight up on the full game, 2-0-1 in the first 5. Splits versus right-handed pitchers. The Royals really strong as home favorites in this spot. 12-4-6 in the first 5, 17-5 on the full game. Under, first 5 under is 16-5-1 as for Royals as home favorite. So let's actually look at that real quick. So we go team equals Royals versus starting right-handed pitchers as home favorite. 17-5 straight up. First 5 under, 16-5-1. Under just over 3.5 runs in that first 5. Just over Michael Wacha. All right, so he's in here 3 times. 2-1 to the first 5 under. I'm assuming it's because he gets that run support there. Look at the opponents here. Diamondbacks. I mean, sorry. Oh, because he faced the White Sox. And it's like, he faced the White Sox twice. Okay, that doesn't. And it was Chris Flexen. All right, never mind. Those don't mean too much. All right, so let's look at the last 30 for the stats here. I don't bring up run lines and your fees too much, but if you're on the website, you can see these things. So if you look at Yerfie Nerfie, the Nerfie's been profitable for Ryan Nelson and Waka. So 14-4 on the Nerfie for Nelson, Waka 13-4. If we go last 30 days, let's look at the stats here. Dang, look at this. All right, so real quick, while I bring this up, so if we look at Royals 5-2-1, 6-2, that's home favorites versus righties. Home favorites 6-2 to the under, 7-1 to the under. That means they're limiting their opponents to score here. So if we go to last 30 days for the batting matchup, Diamondbacks offense is pretty strong right now. 5.5 runs per game, 4.7 for the Royals. Royals don't strike out a lot, but they don't walk a lot either. Man, it seems like everything else is pretty even. Other than the runs per game. So it could be like situational hitting or something like that. Because most of the numbers look pretty even. All right, so if we go pitching matchup, Nelson. So there's some room for negative regression for Waka and positive regression for Nelson here. If we look at last 30 days. Bullpen, I would think numbers look pretty even to me from a bullpen perspective. Slight edge to the Royals because it seems like Diamondback give up home runs at a higher rate. Let me look at the chat real quick because I saw something. Diamondbacks first 5 under and full game under. Is that the team total, Justin? Do you mean team total or what? Or just the game in general? This one's tough, but this is like the opposite from the full game perspective, but that first 5 kind of pops out. First 5 under. Both of these guys pitching pretty well. First 5 under. Is that would that be 5 or what? Is that 5? What the heck is it? 5. 5 runs. First 5 under. It seems like first 5 under. 5 runs seems like a lot. If we go back to this Royals versus right-handed pitchers as home favorites, they're averaging under 4. So let's look at Diamondbacks real quick. Road Dogs. Oh, they're right above 5. Right above 5. The average right here is right at 5. Let's go back here in line. Is less than 150. So a short dog. That's right under 5. D-back's been winning these types of games in recent form. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this one. If I was to, I'm likely not gonna bet it, but I would lean towards that first 5 under 5 runs. Not my favorite lean or look at all. But that would be the way that I go here. All right, what time is it? I got time for one more. If you guys want to call out a game, Yankees. I don't know, man. Against a starting lefty, they struggled yesterday, and they're going against a lefty again. Might be tough for the Yankees. You could drop one more game, and then we can call it a day here. Padres. Wait, did we do that one? We did that one already. We did that earlier. Padres. What was the lean on that one? Padres Nationals first 5 under 4.5 was the lean for that game. I don't know if you caught that. You can catch the earlier part and watch the breakdown, but first five under 4.5 runs. All right, let's see here. Nothing. Went through that. Rays, Blue Jays, maybe. Did anyone else drop a game here? No. All right, so I'm just gonna pick a random one. Jays and Blue Jays here. Eflin versus Rodriguez. Bullpen and starting pitching matchup here. Advantage on the Rays side. The bats for the Blue Jays. So Rays are actually road favorites right now. Let me pull that banner up. Slight road favorites here. Totals at 8 still. Went down from 8.5 to 8. They stayed under in the first game. 4-2 yesterday. And this is the one that had that strong over trend too. So yesterday, when we looked at this, it was 16-2 to the over, or 17-2, something like that. So it moved to 16-3 because we're looking at the last 30 days. So let's look at the last 5 starts here. He's like off and on, so he'll have one good start, one bad start, coming off of a bad start. So if that trend holds true, he should bounce back pretty strong here. Rodriguez, he's been pretty decent. Last 3 starts here. Only went 4 innings though in the last one. He's been pretty decent as far as not giving up runs, but he's walking people. This looks like negative regression here. So we'll get to full season trends. Nothing significant here. So I'm looking at Eflin, first 5 on the road specifically, 8-2 to the over. So Zach Eflin on the road, 8-3 to over in the first 5. Averaging over 5 runs per game in the first 5. So let's look at them if they're favored in that situation. 3-1 to the over, 6.75 runs on average in that first 5. All right, has he faced him twice already? Actually, over in both games. That first 5 over though didn't hit, at least in one of them. They go over after the first 5. That's interesting. All right, so things kind of still pointing towards the over here. Oh, okay. So Blue Jays on the season, Blue Jays versus right-handed pitchers as a home dog. 0-10 straight up. They haven't won a game. First 5 unders, sort of a look here for the Rays. 41, 26, and 6 in the first 5 under. All right, so let's pull last 30 days. First 5 under still. 11, 3, and 2. And even as a home dog, even though they go over in the full game, 3 and 1 to the under in the full game. That 0 and 4 here is home dogs in the last 30 days versus right-handed pitchers. If we look at the batting matchup, I mean, you can see the WAR. Rays actually have a better WAR here. They strike out at a high rate, but I mean the Blue Jays aren't that far off. Rays have solid power. They get into scoring position with their speed. Man, I feel like the Rays might be just getting unlucky here. High walk rate. All right, so if we look at this is a matchup for the Rays here because if you look, all right, so they walk at a high rate. Yeah, Rodriguez walks at a high rate. It just seems like a spot that the Rays. All right, so if we look at the negative regression, oh yeah, see right here, 1.53 ERA, the FIP up to 3.61 for the xFIP. Just looking at this right here, the last few starts, you can see he's walking, but not giving up a lot of runs. It just seems like some negative regression is going to be coming, and it seems like this might be a spot for the Rays here. The bullpens where it's nasty. Both teams really struggling after the fact. So I could see the over on the full game actually with these types of bullpens, but I would actually look towards the Rays here on the money line. Full game money line. Or even the Rays team total over. What would that be? Rays team total. 4.5. I think they can do it. All right, so but I would just do the money line. Maybe the Rays money line would be the way to go there. Rays. All right. Okay, now people are dropping games. 11:51. Let me do one more. I'll do one more. Houston. Let's just do that one. Houston and Oakland. All right, so the A's here as home dogs. We got Brown versus Sears. Rating system does like the Astros. But the odds is actually on point here. So if you can see the A is plus 125 to plus 141 for the estimated odds. They're right there. So we go to, there's actually a baller system here on the Astros too. And then we look at the schedule. Oakland's offense is crazy right now. Oakland's offense is crazy. All right, so Oakland's actually going for the sweep here. All right, so we look at last 5 starts for Brown. Pretty solid, dude. Only this one start here against Minnesota where he struggled. Sears, pretty strong. He gave up 9 hits, two home runs. That's a tough start there. All those runs came in the first while he was starting too. So Angels only scored 3. All 3 runs were given up by him. You can see the consistency in walks with Hunter Brown. So he has control issues. He's always hitting that 6 inning mark. Okay. All right. So if we look at full season, Hunter Brown, first 5, 11, 7, and 1. Nothing really significant. You can see unders here though for both pitchers. 12, 5, and 2 in the first 5 for Sears is pretty significant. 29 point. Sorry, yeah. Full game both 7 and 12 for Hunter Brown and Sears. If you look at the splits, I mean, on the season, the A's been struggling versus right-handed pitchers. We'll look at it in the 30-day perspective. All right, so Astros as road favorites, 9-3 and 1 to the under. Nerfy. All right, so these are the Nerfy numbers here. 12 and 7, 12 and 7. Actually, 12 and 7 for both starting pitchers here on the season for the Nerfy. All right, let's look at last 30 days. So if we look at the trends, both starting pitchers are really strong right now. Last 5 starts. If we look at last 30 days on the splits here, 12, 7, and 1 in the first 5. Astros versus left-handed pitchers has been pretty strong though. 4, 1, and 2 in the first 5, 5 and 2 in the full game. 6 and 1 to the first 5 under. 6 and 1 to the first 5 under for the Astros versus left-handed pitchers. That's telling me they're limiting opponents offensively. Let me just go back to 30 days again. All right, so on the season, full game was away. Right. Last 30 days. All right, so if we look at the batting matchup here, advantage to the A's, but the Astros are still scoring 5 runs per game. A's are scoring 6.1. Man, Astros, I feel like they're getting lucky a little bit here. They don't have a lot of power, not a lot of speed. Barrel rate, hard hit rate is lower than league average, but they're getting on base somehow. They're not even walking at a high rate. If you look at the A's, everything offensively is green, solid looking last 30 days for the A's offense here. If we look at starting pitcher matchup, both have some room for negative regression, actually. Sears does give up home runs at a high rate, but Astros haven't shown a lot of power recently. 3.6 walks per 9. A's walking at a high rate. Bullpen. This seems like an A's team total over type game. So if we go to A's team total over, 3.5. A's team total over 3.5. All right, so if we look at Hunter Brown real quick, 0, 2, 0, 0. So I think they're going off of these scores here. I think I actually like this A's team total over. A's Team total over 3.5. That one's a solid. That's actually pretty solid. I don't know. All right, that was the last one here. So nothing on the nerfy dude, but A's team total over was the way that I look on that one. All right, that's it for the show here today. Before I get to the top looks, I do want to call out themoneyballer.com. Like I said, this is the last week to try it out for free. August 1st, it goes into the paywall structure. So basic access is no longer free after that. So if you are signed up for basic access right now, we're going to give out a coupon code to you. You just check your email. We'll send that out a couple of days before August to get a coupon. And it's only if you are signed up prior to August 1st. So MLB is going on right now. You can see while we went through the show, all the trends, all the stats, all the numbers that the website comes with. What the baller system gives you versus the basic is the rating system for MLB, the model projections, some of the baller systems that you saw that you could call out like where the advantage is. And the baller systems are based off of SDQL, historic SDQL trends and situational spots that go back 5+ years and hit at a specific percentage. So I believe the threshold is around 60% or greater. Um, so those are what the baller systems are, and then we kind of go through them, and then we figure out, all right, are they still hitting at that same rate? We'll keep them on. If not, then we'll drop them off. Um, but that's sort of the advantages of the baller system. Also, when it comes to the Discord that we're gonna give out, I actually thought we were gonna give it out to this week, but I'm not 100% sure yet. The Discord link that we send out later is an extension of the moneyballer.com. So there's the bots in there that help with roster movement, lineups, injuries, up to date injuries. We have a prop bot where you could pull up prop stats for specific players in baseball, WNBA, NBA, and all that stuff. And then obviously NFL is coming on. We're working on pulling up previous season numbers so people can do some of their research for the upcoming season. We're gonna have preseason previews for each team as well, so you can see roster moves, coaching changes, what are some of the predictions that we have, some of the systems that some situational spots, like where we talk about sandwich spots and travel situations, all that stuff can. Though I believe those are going to be in the preview as well. So yeah, I mean we're doing a lot of things with the moneyballer.com, and like I said last week, to try it out for free, just go to the moneyballer.com. You don't need to put in no credit card information or anything like that. Just hit the free basic access until August 1st, and you can try it out for the next week or so. And you just click around, like look at the other pages, see how the NBA and the WNBA. I know WNBA is on Olympic break right now, but see how those pages are laid out, and you can see why some of the guys that have been using the website have been more profitable since using it. I talked about it before. I don't talk about it on the show too much, but people who follow me on X and on Wagertalk and all that stuff, we've been killing the WNBA, and it all really. I mean, we're already winning prior to the season, but when we started the website, just 2.5, 3 months ago or whatever it was, uh, you know, that's when things started to go really well, as far as that I hit 17 WNBA plays in a row, and a lot of it had to do with the moneybar.com, and it's the way that it's structured, right? Matchup versus team versus team, the stats, the trends, all put in a specific way that makes a lot of sense. I mean, at least to me, and a lot of other handicappers gave feedback, so we built it in a way that other handicappers use it as well. Some of the things that we brought up for WNBA with the team totals and all that stuff, those were things that were brought up from the users. So we really want this to be a one-stop shop for our handicappers. We're not a pick site. We're not giving out best bets and stuff like that, but we would give out recommendations here and there just based off of things that we see. But a lot of it is with the facts and the stats and the insights that we give on these matchup pages. All right, so let's get to the top looks. Man, this is tough doing this by myself with the banners and stuff. All right, so top looks, things that I brought up today. Padres Nationals first five under 4.5. Yankees team total under versus the starting left-handed pitcher. So that's the first five team total under, or even the full game team total under. Um, Under four. Sorry, yeah, under 4.5. Mariners first five on the run line to avoid the sweep. There, we talked about that. Rays on the money line, and then the A's team total over 3.5 here against Hunter Brown. That's one of the last ones we talked about. So those are the top looks. That's the end of the show. Definitely went longer than I expected. But if you like the insights, if you like the trends, you like the stats, that's what the Money Baller is about. If you guys in the comments, I know a lot of you guys, seems like there was a lot of people in the there's 166 people watching. If you guys can be more active in the comment section, that would be super helpful because it lets me go through the slate a little bit easier, so that you guys can call out the games that you guys want to see. I can go straight to them, and I don't have to like extend any conversations or whatever on specific games that you guys don't even want to see. So yeah, be more active if you guys can. Be more active in the chat. Provide your own trends, insights, plays, and we can dive into them as we go. And then with that said, that's the end of the show. Whether you always got to end the show like this, whether you fade or follow, it's on you to make that call. You're the one who's pushing that submit button. Good luck with all your action. Till next time, peace.